Well, g'day folks, welcome to another video. If you're new, thanks for clicking on the play button, and like and subscribe if you like what you see. I'd really appreciate it. Now, this video should have been a little bit bigger perhaps, but it was going to be an overnighter, and I would have liked to have done more footage, but one of my GoPro batteries died last week, and the battery I had with me was not fully charged, so it died on the way to my destination, so there's a bit less footage than there should be. Anyway, this ended up not being an overnighter, it ended up being a bit of exploration. It's a track that I used to be able to drive down, and I'm 99% certain I have driven down it a few years ago. And I did notice on the trip last week with my brother-in-law that there's at least 2 new gates that have been put up. Pedestrian traffic is still allowed, and I went as far as I could, but I don't know how far I walked, but I was pretty exhausted in the finish because as far as I did walk, then I had to come back. It was all uphill because that whole area is quite hilly, and if you go off track anywhere, parts of it are scrub, parts of it are quite dense rainforest type vegetation. It made me sort of think about what those fellas on the Kokoda Trail went through during the war, and of course I had it easy. But anyway, hope you enjoy the video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. Well, if I'd have thought about it sooner, I would have packed my pack last night, except for the cold stuff, and had the car loaded ready to go, and then when I got up at the crack of dawn this morning, I could have jumped in the car and taken off and been walking the trail while it was still relatively cool. And yeah, anyway, so I finally got out of the door about 20 to 11, and driving down the highway, daydreaming about where I'm going, and missed a turn. So I've got to backtrack a little bit. It'll only add another 10 minutes to the trip, but I thought I'd stop just here. What you're looking at there, for those that don't know, is Mount Tibrogargan. That's in the Glasshouse Mountains area, and there's a field of pineapples right in front of us here. Now if I look straight ahead of us, can't see it so well, you can see it better from further back. This is Mount Biawar in the distance straight ahead. Anyway, it'll take me about an hour to get to close to where I was last week with my brother-in-law Andrew, and I'm going to do something similar, but it'll be just me this time. Anyway, I'll talk to you again soon. Okay, I just thought I'd try and film a bit of this for you. Hopefully the camera stays where it is. We're nearly at the top, we pretty much are at the top. This is the Belthorpe Range Road. A lot of twists and turns, and fairly fast climb getting up here. Very few places to pull over. There's a couple of spots here, but on the way up there's a couple of spots I would have liked to have pulled over to show you the view, but it just wasn't really practical. I'll just pull up here and switch you off again. Oh, it's a really nice drive coming up that range. Time now, well, it's about well, more or less it's an hour since I left home, so it'll be at least another half hour, 45 minutes to get to where I want to park the car. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll get back to you shortly. Okay, this is one of those tracks that There's a track up there too. This is a track that was, I'm sure I've driven up, but now there's a gate on it and you're not allowed to drive up it. So I thought I'd have a wander. My pack is ridiculously heavy. I've got, where are we? Hope you can see me. I've got 3 litres of water plus, drinking water plus 2 375ml bottles frozen to keep my steak and my milk cold for my cup of tea and for my breakfast. That's if I end up stopping somewhere the night. I might get too exhausted to go too much further and just stop and crash somewhere. Since I've just noticed this little trail here, I might actually go for a wander up there and see where it goes. One of my GoPro batteries died last week. Overheated or whatever, and was swollen up inside the camera. I had to pretty much destroy it to get it out. And I'm going to get out of breath really quickly with this weight and talking at the same time while going up this hill. Anyway, so I was down to one GoPro battery and it wasn't fully charged when I left home. So I've had to get the Canon out and I've got to carry that now. Now on the plus side, with regards to weight, it will be lighter on the way back because there'll be less water, less food. We filled the car up last week when I was out up this way with my brother-in-law. After our travels, I had about a bit over half a tank when I got home, and the car doesn't get used all week, so after getting here I have just under half a tank, but I am not doing the same sort of distances that we did last week. So I have plenty of fuel. Bit dubious about leaving the car unattended, but that's a risk you take wherever you go. I was going to walk down the normal trail, but I thought I'd come and have a sticky beak up here. I may still go back to that trail. Anyway, I'll get back to you a little bit later. It's been a good while since anybody was up here, especially with the vehicle. Surprisingly, a lot of mosquitoes considering how dry it is. I'm wondering if I can make my way back down to the main track, or will it just drop off somewhere onto the track and I'll have to come back up the hill, which I don't really want to do, which is why I don't really want to go that way. These days I think this is more of a game trail than anything else, because I've seen quite a few diggings. So I think I'm going to make my way back to that gate and go along the main trail and hopefully spot somewhere. Well, the original plan was to go on the main trail and see where it went. Not that I've got the energy to walk the full distance, because if it's a track I think it is, it goes for miles and miles. So I've got the Backcountry Navigator app running on the phone. It's actually in my pocket, so I don't know how much it's going to pick up in my pocket. But we'll see. Hopefully we can put a screenshot of the track up on the video. I've only walked, I'm back on the main trail. I've only walked, I don't know, not even 500 metres, and there's another gate. Well, there you go. I don't know why they need a second gate. It's got me puzzled. Yeah, I just got to get around there or there. I didn't weigh my pack, but it really is ridiculous. By the time you put water and food and camera, batteries, drone, all that stuff, it really does add up. And I am not fit by any means. My other pack is way more comfortable, but I wouldn't have fit all the stuff in that I want to bring. Oh, I have to put the camera down to do this. I've got to do a bit of finagling to fit through this gap. And stop. No idea how far I'm going to walk. At the moment, it's all downhill. The problem is, it changes when I come back, obviously. If I stop somewhere overnight, there will be dinner and breakfast eaten, a lot of water consumed, so I'll be 2.5 to 3 kilos lighter coming back. So I just thought to give you a little look. It is actually a fire management trail, and as I said before, I'm pretty sure that gate, neither of those gates used to be there. I'm pretty sure some years ago I've driven down here, but I doubt, being on foot, if I'm going to get far enough to see something of significance that's going to jog my memory. Oh, I just noticed something. My binding is slipping. Interesting. I'll have to do something about that. Anyway, the weather's warming up although you do get the occasional morning that thinks it's still winter. But with the weather warming up, the snakes have been out and about a lot. A lot of reports of people finding them in unusual places. A local snake catcher posted on Facebook got a coastal carpet python out of somebody's shower cubicle, perched itself up on a shelf in the shower. Maybe it just wanted a bit of a freshen up. There's been a lot of brown snakes as well, eastern browns, one of Australia's most venomous. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a bit of a look what I'm walking through, or along rather. I already did that. Oh. Oh, well, that was quite a walk with that weight. I don't know how long I was walking. All this area is oh crap, where's my phone? Oh, heart attack. Thought I'd lost my phone. This whole area is hills and gullies. That's why it didn't record my track, because I didn't click on record my track. I just made a waypoint at this spot, so, and we'll do a photo as well. Okay, so the elevation here, well, not right here, top of this little hill just here, 590 metres above sea level. Where I walked to, let's see, 540, 550, 560, 570. It's about 585 here. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Yeah, 580, 585 metres here. I walked down to 530 and I felt every step coming back up that hill. Oh, I think what I'll have to do is come up here one day, probably with the brother-in-law again, and just a day pack and just go for a walk, see how far we get. Oh, I needed that. Yeah, so I could make a little clearing up in there, but it looks like tick heaven. I'm amazed I didn't see any snakes, to be honest. Such a beautiful area. If you wander off the track in a lot of places, you're just dropping down into a gully, and not sure what this eventually drops into, but I think it finds its way up to Bullumba Creek, where we ended up last week. Anyway, that was quite exhausting. I don't know how far I walked, as I said, but it was all uphill coming back, and I've had enough. But I think what I might do now is just drive up to, it's not much of a drive down this track, up to where the brother-in-law and I were last weekend. So I might go up there and enjoy that view and a cup of tea, and then toddle off home. Anyway, time for a bit of air conditioning in the car. Well, back where I was last week with brother-in-law Andrew. Terrible view, as you can see. Tad windy up here again. A little bit of shade here now because the sun's down behind the trees a little bit. I just noticed something earlier as well, that I had the camera on the wrong setting. I had it on AV instead of movie. It did seem to record something, but I'm not sure what format that's in and whether or not it's going to be any good for YouTube. So I won't know till I get home and stick it on the computer, I guess.